Welcome to our live audience show on Wednesday. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the lovely ladies here. Hi, ladies.
Good morning.
Excellent morning. And we have an amazing audience in the studio. Yay. Good to have you. So, Topsy, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. I am excited. I am happy. Yes. I'm happy to be getting back in the groove of my hair. So at a point, I was tired. Like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Let me go and hide my hair for a few days. And on Monday, I just came up with this style. And I'm loving the hair again.
Looking like Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
At the end of the day, I realized that when you're tenacious about doing something, at a point you will get tired. Whatever it is, even in business, you get tired. But if you keep at it, you'll rediscover your passion if you really love it.
Today's first day of school, girl.
Yes, and we were in school today. I dropped off the kids in school. They are so happy. I'm so happy to be back in school. I'm so happy to be back in school. I'm like, good for you, because I'm happy to let you go.
Right. How are you doing, Obiaji?
I'm doing amazing.
First day of school too for you?
Yeah, no, Monday we went out on Monday. We went to the passport office, so they didn't start, but they started on Tuesday. And today is Wednesday. They are starting on the bus. You know, last term, school bus. School bus. My brother-in-law was doing all the stress for me when I'm not around. So I decided to let the young man who just got married, let him enjoy his marriage. So I'll pay for school bus. And I did. So the kids are on the bus.
That's nice. Cool. How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing great and amazing. I was just thinking recently about this thing between confidence and being conceited. I mean, a lot of us, you know, some people will come and they'll say, oh, I am this, I am that. And then we look at them and, you know, sometimes you're like, is it really a thin line? I don't think it's a thin line. I think that it is a very clear line that, yes, no.
But wait, there can be a bit of sauciness.
Yes, arrogance is about you and what I can do for you and what I have done. But confidence isn't, confidence isn't about that. It's being bold, but it's also being kind. Do you understand? When you're confident and you're kind, yes.
Not all confidence are kind. Not all
no, well, that's
kind,
what confidence should be.
They should be, but not all confident people are kind. Some people are confident and they feel like you don't get it. Right. You don't get it. You cannot appreciate me. You don't get it. I've done so much. I've been there. I've been everywhere.
And that. It depends on the personality, really.
But sometimes you've paid your dues.
Get the accolade.
No. Yeah, I've been hearing that if you don't sing your praises, who will sing your praises?
Okay.
No, sometimes you've actually paid your dues.
Confidence and conceit, difference between Barack Obama and Trump. That's confidence and that's being conceited.
Let's not go into that.
Yeah.
Mariah, how you doing?
Thank you.
I'm doing well. Day one school, we polished all our school. I said I didn't buy new school shoes and bags. So we cleaned all the bags. My daughter was like, Mom, you didn't buy a new bag? I said, no.
You don't need
this one ton. Yeah, but it's old. Because she didn't realize it until like yesterday when I started bringing everything else. She wanted me to, I said, Mommy, I can't go to school. I'm like, well, sorry, honey. It's going to do one more term. that bag will do one more term.
And for me, January is also a good year to start like with school bags.
In January.
Yes.
Maybe I'll consider in January, but at least I polished all the shoes anyway. All right.
Yeah, and they'll be fine. I didn't change bags for anybody.
So we have like a minute left. Let me come to the audience. Does anybody want to tell us how day one in school? Anybody? We have a minute left for banter. Anybody there?
Any gist for us?
No, but no gist. Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to start with the punch. APC defectors are weak. Selfish, says Buhari. President is Nigeria's most incompetent leader, says Atiku. Gunmen kill Catholic priest, one other in Imo. Panic as gully. Erosion swallows 50 houses in Ogun community. PDP presidential aspirants reject consensus, insist on primaries. Buhari's refusal to sign electoral bill ploy to rig 2019 elections. Clark's house raid an attempt to intimidate Judge, says Dixon. 2 APC aspirants battle Ambode for Lagos governorship tickets. Thieves invade Leah Sheribu's father's house, steal the generator and foodstuff. And power fuel subsidies gulping Nigeria's resources for health, education, says U.S. Finally, visa violation, federal government orders deportation of 38 Indians and Koreans. Let's start with Leah Sharibu, then we'll go to the Indians and Koreans.
Yes, so Leah Sharibu, it's been 205 days since Leah Sharibu has been in captivity. And then sadly, here's the story of thieves went into her parents' home while the mom took the brother to school on her. And when she got back home, she realized that, yes, thieves had gone into the house and had taken foodstuff, a generator. This is really sad that it's happening to this particular family.
I don't think it was singled out, though.
Yeah, no, they might not have been
It's
single.
isolated case.
Yeah, but it's sad that it's happening to this family.
Yeah,
What's
so
the visa
violation story, 36
Nigeria can't
Indians.
deport.
Wait, now calm down. I was so shocked when I read the story. 36 Indians and 2 Koreans have been deported. The Minister for Interior has signed the deportation yesterday, so they are going to be deported. The 36 Indians got into the country with counterfeit immigration stamps and fake visas.
Wow.
While the 2 Koreans, you know, they had overstayed, their contract expired with the Zamfara government and they refused to renew it. So the president is saying that he's taking the immigration issue seriously. So if you any foreign national that violates will be handled and taken care of, and which is very, very good.
Yeah, quick addition though, because we've had this happen before. Strangely as it might seem to you, we've read it in the papers before a few years back. What we must do again to really deter is that these people are employed, especially for the Indians. They are being employed by companies in Nigeria and they were processed by those companies. So if you prosecute the companies that are employing illegally migrated officials into the country, that way the companies won't do it again and other companies won't try it because they had false documentation purchased by a company for them.
And then on the lighter note, you know, it's good that people like to stay in our countries. You know, we're the ones that always stay in other people's countries.
Go to other people's countries.
Moving on to APC. Sanwo-Olu Hamzat to battle Ambode for ticket. Defectors selfish. Paperweight politician says Buhari. Fayose asked Assembly to approve 9.9 billion naira budget. 23 aggrieved PDP reps threatened to defect to APC. Remember that Fayose is living in 32 days.
32 days.
October 16th is his last day. Yes, he's asking that.
So in less than a month before his exit from office, in the last show of drama, our wonderful Ekiti State governor, which is my mom's state, has decided that he has some crucial things he wants to accomplish within the next 23 days that he needs money to do, and is asking that they speed up the process of this.
According to papers also, they recently just got him 2018 SUV, Toyota, some kind of Jeep.
Yes.
And there's still controversy over that vehicle.
He's about to leave. So my worry is that we have a state assembly and they are powerful. Just as powerful as the National Assembly, the state assemblies are powerful and they have a right to hold their governors accountable. So the people of Ekiti State, look at the faces of your representative in the state assembly. If this goes through, you should know that they're just rubber stamps and they are up for election. They are up for election. You know, while the state governor's own is off, they are up for election by next year. So,
quickly, there was another story on the NDLA bus drug.
So there's this Lebanese chef. His name is Chabel Chalouhi, who's been arrested for using and dealing drugs. NDLA stormed his house and found a kilogram of cocaine.
Whoa.
And this is Victoria Island. And meanwhile, residents have been saying they have seen suspicious activities and have been worried about the drug dealing in that area, but they've been afraid to talk about it because of how dangerous the drug dealers can be. So it was good that he's been arrested. Yes, a whole lot.
1 kilo is a whole lot.
So not only does he use, he also deals.
Hope investigations are going on the issue.
They're the ones that can afford it.
Cocaine, I can't believe it.
And it's quite expensive.
In movies.
Yeah, you know.
We have a drug problem. They released the report last year and we took the papers
We have marijuana, codeine, but not cocaine.
No, we have cocaine now.
Cocaine,
We've always had
yes.
cocaine.
Nigeria is now the new depot for
Cocaine.
Nigeria.
Let's talk about it. Let's move on to Daily Sun. Cocaine, long. Daily Sun. 2019, Bola Tinubu dumps Ambode, backs Jide Sanwo-Olu. Ambode Hamzat also in fierce battle for APC governorship ticket.
We got to take that
direct primaries to decide candidates. 57 local government bosses sign up for Sanwo-Olu. Buhari hits defectors, speaks APC nomination form. The campaigns weak and selfish. Party list conditions for consensus candidate. Osun Guba government to pay 19.8 billion naira salary allowance, arrears and allowances. Refuses to sign Electoral Act, plots to rig 2019 polls. So
Take the
this
major
Lagos
headline.
State, yeah, is pretty
Whoa,
heated.
so we've been hearing from the grapevine, it's been happening slowly. There are things going wrong within the Lagos State Governor, Governor Ambode, and the elder statesman, Senator Bola Tinubu, and we've been hearing it. But yesterday, it got confirmed to a large extent because the papers carried it that after a meeting, Sanwo-Olu had a meeting with Senator Tinubu and Bola Tinubu, and immediately after that meeting went to pick up the nomination form. Now, when the governor of Lagos State picked up his own form, 57 local government chairmen signed as support for him, but immediately, no, they first signed for Ambode, but immediately Sanwo-Olu picked up his form. They went straight and diverted and said they were no longer standing behind Ambode, but that they are now standing with Sanwo-Olu.
The report I read in the papers was just that Ambode went to declare alongside his own people to pick up a form.
Yes.
But actually, the 57 local governments were actually standing by the new Sanwo-Olu.
And Sanwo-Olu is currently the LSDPC boss.
Okay.
And also we have Amzat, who was working with Fashola, still working with Fashola, now also picking up the form. This is the first time we're having within a party. Other people picking up the form when the candidate is open to come back for an incumbent.
Again, because there are direct primaries allowed now, so every card-carrying member gets to vote. So hopefully once the primaries happen, then it's, according to the APC leaders, it's supposed to strengthen democracy.
We've had this crisis in APC for a while. There was dual primaries within APC.
Right.
And for the internal elections, and so we knew that there was something going wrong. I wish we could just come together because we've seen the current governor working. And if it's not working, we would understand. So if politicking is going to take us away from that, let's make it work.
They'll find a way to settle themselves.
This
is not the first time this is happening in the party.
Yeah, well, we have to move on now to the new Telegraph. Tinubu Fashola rattled Ambode. Major headline about how PDP looted 4.3 billion naira in Kogi State. 64 million euros radar risk collapse over lack of spares. So let's talk about the federal government recovers 769 billion naira from public officials.
Let me really take that story. Okay. So the presidency, sort of like a campaign speech, released a statement that they've recovered 769 billion naira through the federal government, through the apparatus, and they're trying to legalize that apparatus. It's going to be called the Proceed of Crimes Bill, which is where they will be able to use both the whistleblower and other forms they're using, tax evaders, and bringing them into one bill that they've sent to the National Assembly to pass into law. That bill is already in the making before, but now they want to consolidate it under the Proceeds of Crime Act. And we've got a lot of money, so we're hoping to get more.
So Kogi State had the new governor, not the new governor, but the present governor of Kogi State, when he got into office, put an audit committee together to check the pensions budget and pensions in Kogi State. They've been having problems with paying pensions and gratuity and discovered a 4.3 billion naira fraud. It showed that a lot of the monies that have been put into pensions had been taken out by previous governments and then diverted into personal accounts.
They took money from pensions.
Yeah, from pensions. People's pensions, instead of being paid to beneficiaries, had been used by previous governments, diverted into personal accounts, diverted into micro banks,
so this
all sorts of things. They have proven it. I mean, the audit committee has come up with the results. So that's why, yes, so there are numbers and so it's now prosecution.
Right, so it's campaign season. Everybody's going to come up with all stuff. We saw this in 2018, dig up stuff. So we'll see how where this takes us. Moving on now to Vanguard very quickly. Second term, Lagos on urge as Tinubu rallies against Ambode. Picture here of the three gentlemen, Ambode, Hamzat, and Sanwo-Olu picking up their forms. Debt owed China only 8.5% of external debt. Government, Labour head for showdown over new minimum wage. Selfish, corrupt politicians have left APC, says Buhari. And APC governors kick against conditions for consensus candidature. So our president was speaking.
Can I take the story of the Labour minimum wage?
Oh, yeah.
So the leaders of the Labour organizations, the NLC, the TUC, and the ULC have sort of heard that the government is not ready to proceed with the new minimum wage. So they are planning to have like a conference today to decide on how they are going to handle the story. According to what they also heard, that the government is planning to present that amount because they've been running away from giving the amount they want to pay as new minimum wage, planning to delay it till elections. Then by the time they give that price, that amount, after the elections, they will reverse it back. So the Labour is planning to fight it. That's what they heard. Yes, that's what they heard.
All sorts of things are happening. Let's go on a break. Honestly, Lagos is tense right now. Everybody's just tensed right now. But let's take a break. People have not slept. People have not slept. People are having meetings all night. You are here laughing. People are keeping video on this matter. Anyway, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll talk about why do people go to school? Is it for contacts, connections, or to actually get educated? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We have always known that going to school is majorly to get education. But we've also heard of stories of how people put their children in specific schools in order to mingle with the children of the creme de la creme of the society. Recently, Rina Omokri said, don't go to school to only get a degree. Go there to make friends. Many times, the friends you make in school will be more important to your success and than the knowledge you actually gain. Connections are more vital than corrections. Now, do you agree with this? So when I read this, and I was thinking to myself, I know I met somebody who I knew couldn't afford a school, but he did everything to put his children through school. I mean, they lived in a one-bedroom house. He was using a bus to take them to school because he just said he didn't want his children to to go to the local schools. He could afford to go to the government schools, but he insisted that is this private school, this popular one that everybody goes to. And I remember how he used to take these kids in the bus. And it was just, it was interesting to see somebody do that, make that kind of sacrifice because of the weight he put on mingling with the right people. Do you agree, or do you think, is it necessary, or do you think your education actually will make you stand out regardless of where you are?
For me, I was born in Mile 2, in Mushin. My parents moved to Mile 2. My school was in Ilupeju. So my dad would take me from Mile 2 to Ilupeju every day. And left to him, I would have gone to a school in Ikeja where my cousins were going to. But my uncle was like, okay, while you can't afford this school in Ikeja, popular school in Ikeja, he said, this is another good school you should take her to. It wasn't about the connection. It was about the education and the idea that you're not going to, this is not all you will see all your life. You must see something else. You must experience something different. So it took him to make that journey. In my head, every time I talk to people and I say I spent 20 years of my life in Mile 2 in an estate, it does not correlate because my reality was that I was living there, but I had exposure to a better environment somewhere else, which was bought for by the sweat of my parents. So it was that sacrifice on their part, and it made a difference. So as much as I understand that when you're going to the university, it should be for connection and building a network. But we don't even preach that enough. We don't.
So you agree with that statement that you should get a network? I
believe that you should, because the people you meet in your 20s, they're the ones that become great in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Yes. But when you meet them in your 30s, you don't recognize them. Everybody is in a raw form. So be kind to your 20s.
I have a story similar to yours, which is my mom, at the time, she was a widow, small-time nurse, and she took us to one of the best schools. I mean, those that went to, that live in Jos, Alama Private School, that's where I went to school. I mean, it cost her everything. She used to say that my fees were a lot more than her salaries, just for me, and I had my sister. So, you know, we used to be among those kids that they'll send out of class before she can come up with the remaining half. So it was very important. She said to me that it was very important that her children went to good schools. And it wasn't really about connection at the time. I don't think she was thinking about connection, but that, you know, it will give us a better opportunity. And although the only way I disagree with you here is I feel that the ones you meet in secondary school, when you're teenagers, those are the ones that will always be your friends. You know, yesterday I was talking about my friends. When you're like from 10 till about 16, that's where you even spend most of your years. All the other schools, you don't spend that much time, but in secondary school, you spend most of your years. They know you from your Gary drinking days, you know. So when you come up and sit down here and speaking for an they know who you truly are. And what that happens is, you might not necessarily go to school to meet the creme de la creme or the rich, but just form strong relationships, form strong friendships. And it does not matter how you end up in future, even if you end up as a security person, but there's just someone or like a, you know, not like top management or anything. The thing is, you have a relationship with someone, a security person can get you through the gate. So don't go to school thinking it has to be with the rich people. You just know, a rich kid does not always necessarily grow up to be a rich adult. Do you understand? So it's always good to...
For me, personally.
Thank you.
For me, personally, I've been holding on, that's why I said that. For me, personally, I didn't get into the university with the mindset of mingling with the right people, because I just connect with you and I mingle. And I know that as a teacher, I had teachers, colleagues of mine who paid through their nose, used all of their salaries because they wanted their kids to be in that school, which the school had Sanusi Lamido's kids in the school. Most of the commissioners and, you know, politicians who had money and all of that were in that school. So most of those teachers don't even go home at the end of the day with their salary because they wanted to put their kids in that school for that, you know, connection. But I connected with people who were of like minds in the university. People like me, growing up from humble backgrounds. We had no financial, so to speak, we're not rich, but we were great, we're passionate about what we were into. And most of them in different fields are very, very successful. If I mention their names, you wouldn't know that they were once my roommates and my classmates right now in different fields of endeavor. But it didn't guarantee that they will help you tomorrow. That's what I want to point out. It didn't guarantee that. Because getting into the movie industry, I have people who are in the movie industry who got in there before me, who are doing amazing. They are producing every month. They have, if I mention their names, they are big. But they haven't said BC or Obi Ajilu, we know you can act. Take a script and come and do something. So that tells me that it's not about who you meet. It's good to meet people. It's good to, but that is not the mindset. It's about what you offer. It's about your destiny and success. Sometimes people around you see who you are, and there's this competition. If you give her this opportunity or we give him this opportunity, he or she might outdo us, and they don't come with that opportunity. So getting into school and having the right kind of friends is not really the thing. Just work at being good at what you do. And
let me take this call from Bolanle from the UK. Bolanle, are you there?
Yeah. Good morning.
Go ahead. Good morning.
Hi. Yes, just want to make a quick contribution to your program, which is great. Well done, girls. Thank you. I went to a good school. You know, at the time, I schooled in Nigeria, although I live in the United Kingdom now. And the school I went to was Methodist Girls High School. And today, you know, I thank God for going through that school, because it was like, you know, now, all the friends I made in that school are the ones that I can count on now. They are the ones that, you know, that you can call anytime. And we have our little groups as well. You know, we have a forum that we go everywhere, all over the world, you know, doing sister things, helping each other, and, you know, just being there for each other. And it's been awesome. And the school is even doing a lot of stuff for Nigeria now, for the old school. We're planning a lot of things. So, you know, it's very important that people go to good schools for education.
I personally, thanks for Bolanle for your. I personally suffered from this issue because in secondary school, I was practically yanked off. Yanked off and taken to the US at the time. Okay. And in the US, when you school in the university, you're on your own. Who in the US that I schooled with am I talking to today? Just maybe one or two that I met. Maybe the one Jamaican girl here and one Black American here. And they are doing their own thing. So I totally missed out on that connection that you get in the university. And even in secondary school, I had it to the point where we're kids. I still have some connection, but you see, because we didn't graduate together, I didn't go to the end. I lost it, so I didn't have that strength. So even though when I see them hanging out together, I see them doing stuff together, it's still I still feel like an outsider.
The outsider. Depends on your nature.
Yeah.
Because I finished my entire education here. But I cannot say this is my childhood friend from secondary school because I'm not that kind of person.
But if you see the person, you would definitely connect.
And we did not connect anything because while I was in school, honestly, I'm an introvert. I don't make friends easily. I keep to myself. All through secondary school, they were forming cliques, 3 girls, 4 girls, 5 girls, and I never clicked with any of them. And it doesn't hold you back. You know, the fact that you didn't click with people in secondary school, you were an introvert, you were the extra person. You were always that extra person does not hold you back from success or being who you were meant to be because God will send people your way if you're good to help people generally.
Let me take this call from Matthew. Matthew, thank you. Are you there?
Yes.
Go ahead,
Thank
please.
you very much.
Morning.
I like your topic this morning. Actually, people go to school for several reasons. And like what your colleague has said, some go for connection, making friends. Beyond going to school just to make friends, I think the most important thing is for you to be informed. When people are not informed and they don't know the reason why they should go to school, they end up not having the best in life. You know, there are some point where the connection you're hoping to get, they may not come. You know, but the most important thing is that you get informed. That's why you see a graduate who comes out of school, they can't really have something doing because they were busy looking for that connection instead of them to get information, which is the education.
Tola says, it's a defeatist view thinking, mingling with top children creates opportunities. What each child makes out of their environment determines their tomorrow. Even those born with silver spoons miss their way in life. Balanced background is key.
Okay, so we have to go. I think we can wrap up on that comment. Okay. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, our special guest today, Women We Love. You're going to meet her. She's amazing. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. She's known all over the world for promoting her designs through exhibitions and workshops in Nigeria, United States, Belgium, Germany, Austria, Italy, and the United Kingdom. She's the founder and director of 4 art centers, which offers free training to young artists in visual, musical, and performing arts. She's also the owner of the largest art gallery in West Africa, comprising over 7,000 artworks. Welcome with us, Chief Mrs. Nike Davies-Okundaye. To join the conversation, you can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, let's just start from you, because you're known for your love for batik, adire, the visual arts, performing arts culture. You've always promoted that in Nigeria and all over the world. Where did that love come from, and how has it sustained for so many years? I've become the face of arts and culture in almost the whole of West Africa.
Well, I think it comes from our own direct source, which is Nigeria. Nigeria love their culture. You will see when Nigeria go to UK, they wear their agbada. Yeah. When they go to US, even though the weather is cold, they still wear a coat on top of dashiki, kaftan. Nigeria is always carrying their culture along. And that is why I said, let me follow the source, let me follow our heritage and culture, and also do my own part, as you people are also carrying on with us. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things that shot you into major fame was your giving back. You took women that had nothing. You gave them an opportunity, you trained them for free and pushed their art out. I saw a documentary of you many years back on how you empowered women back in your state. Then before the Lagos Art Gallery became a thing. What made you pick those women up and empower them? What was your story? Why did you connect with them? And how has the journey been for you?
Well, I was formerly married to a man who married 14 wives after me. And we have 15 wives. Yeah. And I started my adire. The adire took me to US. I don't have any education more than primary 6. Wow. So I weave. You can see that is why I'm wearing the women's loom. I weave, I do adire, and I also do other things. I was always saying, why are we all together married to one man? But it's because of poverty, no education. That is why I'm always happy when I see young people like you who have your master's degree, doctor degree. It is a pride in our own lifetime. So no education. All of us are sitting down. All what we can talk about is how about this man. And this man said, oh, he's just so happy to see us fighting over him. That is why he actually married all of us. Not for law, but to say he's a handsome man. So after going to US, I see life through art. I say, let me come and share this with my other co-wife. And from there, I started picking the other people on the street and say, come, if this work can take me abroad, you also come and learn, and that is how.
The amazing story about you is that what you do, art, is usually seen as like a hustler's job. Like, if someone wants to go into art, what would you gain from it? What would you make from it? You know, your story is like you came out through challenges. A lot of us here, we have sat down here, we've talked to people, they'll say, well, Nigeria is too challenging. And here you are, you know, out of all the things, all the challenges, you still, you know, here you are representing us across the world. Is there something you can tell someone watching you right now who is thinking of art, who is maybe married to maybe like a 5th wife or something, you know, with no education and living in poverty? What do they need to do differently so that someday they can also give, you know, a successful story?
Yeah. Every time when you look at life, if there is no challenges, you will not be able to get to where you are going. So you have to be humble. In this polygamous house, I built 3 bedrooms. Hard work, I will say number 1, then patient. If you have suru, what you call suru, you can overcome anything. That is what takes me.
Reading up your story and watching a couple of your documentaries, you're really intriguing, and I'm excited. I'm happy that you're sitting. You're a great woman. We're sitting beside you this morning. And in that your marriage, where you were number 1 of the 15 wives, your bedroom was the bed. 3 of you were managing to, you know, taking turns to sleep was what you used as your table for your artwork. So you've been through a lot of challenges. And I also remember that when you met an Oyibo who came to take your work outside the country, your husband didn't want you to go. He wanted the last wife to go. So how were you able to convince him to go out there and project your work?
Well, when the Oyibo come and he said he want to take me, he said no, the junior wife. So I now kneel down. I said, my husband, you know, if I come with this money, it's going to go to you and our children. Please, just give me an opportunity. When I come back, any money we make, I will give it to you. And he was so happy that I promised him.
Wisdom.
When we come back, I gave him the money and we use it to buy the house where we are renting. Because we only buy the house for 2,000 naira, a whole house. But the children sleep under the bed. And the landlord will come and chase us out. So this money is 2,000. I come with $25,000. But by then it's 50 kobo to... Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So, I know, you see, there's so much to talk to you about, because I was going to go back into your arts, but I'm now fascinated about this your story, because I come from a polygamous family. My mother was also number 1, and I know she did everything to lead the way you have led. But because the others weren't receptive, I mean, there was just another woman, but there was somebody else. How did you manage that leadership of 14 women, and then they were able to be under you? Or did you have issues, and how did you overcome those challenges? Because there are women going through it right now, and they need your advice.
Any woman going through this, now is just what I tell you. Whatever you want to do, you have a focus, and you know that this is what you are aiming at. Whatever happens, just have patience. Because every time we fight ourselves, if the junior wife want to fight me, I will say, Oko me, leave me, Dakun, forigi me. They will say, we see the man with you. And who are you? You are too old. Your time has gone. So you just beg them. When you have suru and you have a focus...
You beg your co-wives?
Yes. You have to. If not, they will beat you. The junior wife used to beat us very well. And our nose will swell up. So, because I cannot fight, but I have a dream, what I'm focusing on, that one day, this one that we are fighting ourselves, we will become friends.
I'm sorry, these junior wives now, where are they now?
Oh, a lot of them are on their own now, but we are now friends. We are very, very close now, to the point that we do family reunion.
So you stoop to conquer.
That's the truth. We are educated. We are trying to run a business. They say go and study entrepreneurship in one school. Come and pay 5 million naira for an 18-month program. They will say, oh, you need to understand business. You need to understand all that branding. You have primary 6. Yeah. You have 4 art galleries. You have lectured abroad in universities.
No branding when she started.
So, as in, please.
No branding when she started, though. No branding.
So obviously, you know, Yoruba will say, oh, mi o kawe, but mo kanu mi. Ki le ka gogo mo mi, ki le ka.
Fantastic.
You know, when you are, your parents are bringing you up, you are learning. That is the first education that people learn. So my father always say, hard work is the key. And he have no money to even train me through school. I carry concrete and stone, water. It's 3 pence for 3 drums of water for me to pay 15 shillings for my school fees. Ooh. And I have a junior brother. So when you are hardworking, whatever you do, just focus and know you are good at it. Do it well. That take you to wherever you are going.
Okay. I was going to go into your... We have a few seconds. Maybe when we come back, I was going to go into your dressing because we all like to be African and be project our culture, but it is just a lot of work. I mean, going around dressed like this in itself, for me, it's just, this is so convenient. I can just wear this and I'm all right. But African can be just a lot of work. Dramatic. When you go out, so I'd like to really know how you go about wearing all this. Especially in travel, you get that kind of attention. And when you get that attention, what do you do? When we come back, we'll talk about your dressing. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Staying with us. So we're going to go into dressing a bit later, but you had a marriage question.
Yes, I do. I know you've been married a couple of times. You were married to your husband who had 14, and then you married a white man. And then after then, you went ahead and you married, you know, a police officer. Could you take us through that journey?
Why?
And why did you do, yes.
They said if a woman did not marry 2 husbands, they don't know the best. But it's not really. No woman wants to marry 1 or 2 times. When you have the good one, you don't know the value. But when you have the good one, I will say, please hold on to the good one, especially the youth. The first one, because we are polygamous, and I lived there 14 bad years. So I said, let me marry to another country. I was thinking it's an achievement for me to marry to a white man. So when I married to the white man wanted to carry me to go back to his country. I said, no, I need to share my knowledge with my people. That is why I divorced the white man. And he went with the 2 children, and I was paying the school fees because he himself did not go to school more than primary 4. Oh, wow. So
you're the one that paying school fees.
I'm the one paying for everything.
You've always been a strong woman.
Paying all the school fees.
So the third marriage.
So the third marriage, artist does not have good relationship with police. Actually, they went to use police to arrest me that I'm training the women, that I'm trying to bring American feminists. And when these women get money, they don't give to their husband anymore. They now become empowered. So then this policeman now invited me and said, I hear this is what you are doing. This cannot work in our country. Then I told my own part that instead of us becoming a beggar on the street. This is what I do. This is what I do.
Somehow you guys fell in love.
And then I said, he said, oh, this is lovely. Maybe if you can do this, you can put food on the table. Then I said, yes, why not? So that is how we get married. Marrying to a police is actually for
protection.
So to
that
speak.
is it. All right,
ma'am. You had issues as a woman in your craft because even while you were opening up an art center in Osogbo, you had problems. They didn't want a woman to own that kind of establishment. They wanted it for a man. And then you put in women, and they said you were bringing feminism into the whole thing. How did you, because I know the arts is still functioning there.
Yes.
How did you, convince the government that, or convince the community that women can handle such? How was it for you?
Well, some of those people that I train, I ask them to train other people. So it's not only me now, it's becoming a group.
Community, you have your own community.
Yes, so this group of community, they see that when they come back, they build a house. When they come back, they do this. Then they say, if you cannot join them, don't scatter them. And then marry into the police actually. Yes.
Come to the audience. Let's get 1 or 2 questions from the audience. Go ahead, please.
All right, Ma, I must celebrate your consistency. I understand that growing a brand is like growing a child from birth to adulthood. Right. So how have you been able to come this far in growing your heart brand? Because I'm a lover of brand, and I'd like to know about this.
Yes. Yeah, so the heart, this is your gilly. Yeah. In fact, everybody knows about it. How did you come up with the concept, and how do you go around with this?
This gele, every woman that married, they are the queen of their husband. And also the gele is the crown. So when I started seeing that if the government is good, they will make gele go on. In those days, they make a gele that go with go on. Yeah. They make a gele that go with the former first president, which is Shagari. So then I said I should make a gele to go with the art, so people can know that art is becoming big, like a canopy. So then I call it Gele Gala.
Gele Gala.
Gele Gala.
Yeah. One more question from the audience. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Ma, you just went to primary 6 or stopped at primary 6. How were you able to improve on your English language, your spoken English, to be able to communicate with the learned, even outside the country?
Fantastic question. I mean, because people always think that English is just so important.
It's everything.
Yeah. Let me tell you, how did Harvard with go past no phoneme, English and everything?
Whenever I go out, I will tell them that I don't go to school. I want you to correct me. I don't stop learning. I always learn from young people, the people I employ. So I will say they should correct my English.
So much humility.
Where my weaknesses are, and then let me take this call. Morning, are you there? Ooh, lost that call.
So I wanted to ask you, before we take to it, that you see, I read from your story that you were giving even before you had. And even from what you said now, your giving built a community that fought for you in the process of when you were being antagonized. Can you help us advise people out there that are thinking that the only way to add value is when you have money, or the only way to give is when you have a lot? What's that process? How has giving added value to your life?
Well, I think the giving has added a lot, because even the Oyibo who teach us, I now started bringing them back. Those are the Uli and Georgina. Baya, I was now bringing them back to Nigeria to look after them. I said they should retire here. Wow. But the more you give, the more you get. You can not give what you don't have. But if you know you have knowledge, or if it's ordinary food, you know how to cook, cook it well and share with your people. And that moment you share, you will always remember. And
so let's talk about the attention you get when you travel, when you wear this. What happens when people come and see you?
Well, when I travel, they always stop me on the street. They will say, Africa, Africa. So then I will say, Nigeria, Nigeria.
Paula says, beyond clapping and laughing, I hope we're learning something from Mama Nike's tenacity, patience, and accepting reality that our culture has fostered on us against the present mockery of Yoruba language and culture that the contemporary youth engage in. Ekushema.
Mommy, but the kind of sacrifice you make, we can't make this kind of sacrifice.
She's celebrated now.
Yes, but listen, other people didn't make this step. Oprah was celebrated. We are celebrating Ibukwa Oshika. She didn't go through this. So it doesn't make it look as if until you go through this, you become a successful woman. But she went through a lot. We understand that. But it's hard to reconcile. I mean, I cannot imagine going through what she went through. Because, I mean, she told us a story that even when she was married, she had to work for her husband outside.
She for her husband during the day. She works around in the day and then works for herself at night. And then she was lying to go and sell the things in Lagos. She was going to the mountain. You were very humble.
Yeah,
How your legacy going forward, your children, how have you been able to pass on those values to them?
Well, all my children, I give them education up to, like, each one of them have two masters. I have 6 children. And all of them are artists.
Wow.
My first son is 47 years old, and he is already a professional artist. Then I have 4 girls and 2 boys, and all of them are artists.
Outside the country or in Nigeria?
Oh, I give them the best education. Actually, I train them through university in US. Okay. I will go and carry load, do conference, do workshop, just to pay $50,000 for one of them.
Wow. Whoa!
Yeah.
I'm so
you paid $50,000, man.
Yes.
You.
Before we go, I know that you have free training for people, young people who are interested.
Yes.
There's a free training. How do people get involved? How can they register? Because there are a lot of people out there who need something like this to do.
Yes, I just opened one place now in Badore, which I was thinking I will just focus to area girls. For people who are interested, I'm going to make it 2 parts. Okay. So that one,
so they just
they can you? Always. No, I'm going to give you my number.
Okay.
Which is 0.
No, we don't have to. We'll send it online.
All right.
Because we don't want to focus on the marketing. But we thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We appreciate the work you've done.
Thank you.
We appreciate how you inspired everybody here. Yes. Could you just give us very quickly future? What's next? What should we look out for?
Is there anything you're doing?
Yes, I'm going to be doing my next workshop in Kogi. Okay. Because I want the young people of that area to really know that if the government did not give them a job, both men and women, they can turn trash into treasure.
Oh, fantastic. So, Kogi, she's coming your way. All right, that's all we can take on the show today. Such an amazing experience talking to you, madam.
Yeah. Awesome.
We're going to break.
God bless you.
That's all we can take on the show. Have a fabulous day. See you tomorrow.